Hi guys, this is Aubrey. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Thank you for coming back because it's been a bit of a time since I've posted a video. So today it's just going to be kind of a chit chat video. I just want to share with you guys what's been going on with me, why I haven't been posting any videos, and then kind of the direction that I'm going to be going with my channel. So let's just start with where I've been. So basically, a couple things have been going on. First and foremost, and I don't want to like scare anybody, freak anybody out. But we did have a health scare in my family, and so we're working through that right now. No one's dying. Everybody's great. But yeah, like I'm gonna be sitting here and saying, early detection is the key. So any of you guys, especially those of you that are a little bit older, please do your yearly physicals, because when you catch things early, it's much easier to either fix, eliminate, get rid of, deal with whatever ailment that you're dealing with. Because if you just keep letting it go, then it can get to the point where it's gone too far and you just can't go back. So I'm just gonna say everybody in my family is good. But I did take some time to focus on my family for a little bit and to just kind of stay off social media and put more of my intention towards my family. I still came on and hopped on here every once in a while and watched people's videos, but for the most part, I was spending some quality time with my family and really enjoying it for the most part. So, another transition that's happened with us is, so my son, you guys obviously have seen him in some of my videos. You probably won't see him much more in any of my videos. He's in middle school now, and he's kind of going through that transition. We're all going through a transition with him for this stage of his life, because it's interesting, and I don't know how all of the school districts are, but I know that my son pretty much basically from K through 5 didn't have any homework. And my son was in first grade when COVID hit. So he's always been behind. So pretty much since he was, I want to say since third grade, we have been sending him to a tutor to help, try and catch him up. But it's a long process. So now that he's in middle school, he has homework. So we definitely are learning that new schedule. And it's funny because I do watch Martha from Martha's Fragrance Corner, and she was talking about ChatGPT, and she's talked about how she's using it with her finances. And I kind of just had to chuckle when she talks about that, because I use it to help my son with his homework because I just don't remember. I don't remember these concepts. And it's interesting because the kids don't get credit for the homework unless they show their work. So ChatGPT and I have become best buds with helping my son get through his homework. So we've got that going, and then of course we have mountain biking season upon us. So every other weekend we're at races, we're traveling, and then, you know, come November, ski season starts, and so we'll all be skiing. So this time of year is just kind of crazy, but I do want to get back into making videos. Um, I have, I don't, I don't really want to say like I'm struggling, but I definitely have been giving some thought to my channel. So I just hit 2 years on my channel, and it's kind of interesting because when I started my channel originally, like I did not come on to YouTube to sell anything, to promote anything. I just pretty much started my channel to share my obsession with home fragrance. And it was funny because I didn't even know how to use YouTube. I didn't even have a YouTube account. And my kid at the time was like, "Hey mom, let's create a YouTube channel." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, you know, I spent a decent amount of time, you know, learning how to set up an account. I didn't edit videos probably for the first year that I had my channel because I was just kind of making videos and getting used to being in front of a camera. And then I was like watching all these videos and I'm like, I need to learn how to edit. So, you know, I spent some time learning how to edit. And, you know, that first year was so much fun. Not only did I start a YouTube channel, I learned a whole ton of technology. I made some really good friends in the wax community, and I did so many hauls. It was not even funny. Like every video was haul after haul after haul. And then come year 2 of my channel. Okay, sorry about that. My son needed to come in because he lost another tooth. So year 2, like the first year of being on YouTube, like I did haul after haul after haul after haul, and I was thoroughly enjoying receiving all that wax, and I was having so much fun. And then at the end of that first year, I kind of stood back and I was like, what have I done? Like, what have I done? So, you know, I went through the process. I got the spreadsheet from the spreadsheet that Martha does, and I did it, you guys. It took me like, I want to say it took 1 to 2 months. I don't remember the exact amount of time, but to go through all my wax and put it in a spreadsheet. And then when I finished that spreadsheet, I was like, really? Really? Like, who needs 2,000 pieces of wax? Like, I was over 2,000 pieces of wax. So I decided the second year of my channel that I was going to do a no-buy. And it's hard because you struggle with, especially when you've spent an entire year doing hauls and sharing all this great wax and sharing all these vendors, these small vendors, because I still want to continue to do that. But I had to take a step back and I had to say, okay, let's put on the brakes here because it's out of control. It's just too much wax. So I did a 1 year no-buy. In that year, I did place a very, very small order with the Pharmacist's Daughter, and I bought some of the coconut crack. And I'm glad I did. It was definitely worth it. I had been hearing about this from so many different YouTubers, and I was like, you know what? I'm sure I don't have anything like it in my collection, and I don't. But I'm still trying to get through it. So um, I did. So I feel like I've kind of transitioned with where I want to go with my channel. So this is just kind of like a small introduction telling you kind of where I'm going forward. I'm still going to do like my empties, but I'm going to be giving myself a budget, because I'm going to allow myself to still buy new things, but I'm not going to allow myself to purchase in the large quantities that I was before, because I still have a lot of wax. However, I have a lot of older wax, and we'll definitely get into that as I get into my series, because that's one of the things that I want to talk about is, the shelf life from different vendors that I've had experience with, because I think that's really important information to have, because if you know a vendor's wax has a shelf life of like 2 years and they have like a ton of great scents, like you can stock up on that. I mean, and you can do whatever you want, but this is just kind of where I'm coming from, because I don't want to purchase mass amounts of wax that I'm never going to be able to get through, because it's in my opinion, with my journey, um, for me, it's wasteful. Now, I also tend to melt a lot less wax than a lot of people, and that is just because I have some people in my family that are sensitive to scent, so I try to be mindful of that. So I've definitely become more of a mindful melter. So going forward, like I said, you're still going to see what I'm getting through, but you're not going to see it like every week. It might be every 2 weeks. It might be once a month. I just haven't gauged it, because I'm at that point where I'm going through like bigger things now, and it's just taking me a bit longer to get through that stuff. So if I only have like 3 or 4 items, then I'm not going to like come on here and do an empties. I definitely want to continue spotlighting some vendors that I really enjoy. And I think, now that I've had a couple of years experience with some of these vendors, I have more information that I can provide. I know that everybody wants to know, how long does it take an order, and how long do the scents last, and what warmers work best. But, now I know like shelf life. I have a pretty good understanding of like the different scents from different vendors, because I've had the experience over the last like 4 years to try a bunch of, not only a bunch of vendors, but a bunch of scents. And I've narrowed down what I really enjoy. So I'm going to be doing more of those spotlight on vendors. And I really want to focus on small business, because I just feel like with everything that's going on, the tariffs and the price of everything going up, it's more important now than ever to be supporting small business owners. And if you're shopping from Bath and Body Works, or you're shopping at Walmart, or you're shopping at Target, that's totally fine, because I know that I purchase retail products as well. But I think what I'm going to do, because I still have quite a stash of like candles from Bath and Body Works. But I think going forward, when I find a scent that I really, really, really enjoy, I'm going to work on finding a vendor that if they have a dupe of it, then I'm going to give it a try. And if they don't have a dupe, then maybe I'll start working with some of these vendors to see if we can come up with something that's close, or not necessarily like a dupe, but close, because I still enjoy melting over burning. This is a time of year though where I tend to burn candles. I feel like they're cozy. I only burn them in my living room, and I usually only have like one going at a time. So I don't get through candles. So if I can find a dupe with a small business and I can support a small business, then I definitely am going to go down that road. So I'm also going to be sharing with you guys so my first video, which I'm going to put out next week. So I was thinking about putting it out this week, but I'm still kind of putting everything together in my outline because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. But I really want to start this journey going forward with my channel that's going to be more kind of the mindful melter. I want to start with talking about what it was like all of the emotions, and just, I mean, when you do a year no buy, it's like a roller coaster, guys, because you have days that you're like, yeah, I got this. And then you have days where you're like, oh my God, I need to get off social media. I can't watch this stuff. It's so hard. I mean, I cannot tell you in the last year how many carts I have filled up and then just walked away. Because for some reason, filling that cart just, it's like a dopamine rush, and it just kind of, I don't know, I saw somewhere that they said that dopamine rush that you get is much greater when you're actually purchasing an item than when it actually arrives at your house. And I do think that there's truth in that. So I'm definitely going to be starting it off with that. And then we're just going to kind of go through. I will continue, like I said, I will continue to do my empties as I have them. I'm going to work on focusing on spotlighting small vendors. I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to say, now that I'm a little bit more mindful, I definitely want to share some financial ideas with fragrance. I don't want to go too far with it, because I am not one of those people that says I'm not going to spend money on something that I actually absolutely love. And I believe that there are certain companies out there that have a phenomenal product, and yes, it might be a little bit more expensive, and I'll share that information with you. So, but I do want to share some tips that I've learned in the past year if you're trying to stretch the dollars just a little bit. And then I want to talk about seasons, the type of scents, because I am a seasonal melter. So I'll be definitely talking about scents of the season, and I'm definitely going to have wax in that, and I will continue to have my essential oils in that, because those of you who have been following me for any amount of time know that I love my essential oils. And then I'm going to do a few, I guess, mood melting. Because sometimes you just want to create a mood with your scent. And I do that quite a bit too. So even though I would say I'm like a 90% seasonal melter, sometimes, like if I want to create a mood, like I need some energy or I need to relax or I have company coming to the house. So I'm going to be sharing some of that. And I'm hoping to take this little series that I'm doing and I'm going to take it through the end of 2025. And then at that point, we'll see where we're at. I don't know if this is going to be something that people want to watch. I would like to think so, but at the same time, like for me personally, I do. Like I enjoy everybody that I watch in the wax community. And even though I don't choose to have like a massive collection anymore, there's a part of me that loves watching other people's massive collections. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, oh my God. I'm just at that point where I don't want that big of a collection in my home. So we're just gonna see how this goes and see where this journey leads us. But yeah, from now until the end of the year, it's going to be kind of, I want to call it my mindful melting series, you could say. So that'll start next week with the first video talking about all the emotions of a no buy. And then we'll just keep going with the rest of the year. And once the end of the year comes, then I'll update you on where the channel is going from there. So I'm sorry that I haven't been around much, but I'm excited to be back, and I will see you guys in my next video. So thanks for stopping by, and sorry for my chatty chat for today, but I just wanted to get on here quickly and let you guys know I'm still here and I'm still watching everybody's channels, but I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things, if that makes sense. So that's it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.